Well, Creativity Month is a celebration of creativity and the creative industries across the north of Ireland. I'd like to invite to the stage now Stephen McGowan, the Head of Creativity at the Department of Culture, Arts and Leisure, who will now officially launch Creativity Month and the first of our educational resources today, which is called Creative Classrooms. You've probably got a copy there. Creative Classrooms is a CLC resource for teachers and students designed to encourage creativity across the curriculum and help young people progress to using creative skills in any job or seek a job in the creative industries.
I'm delighted to be here this morning. I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic conference, very insightful, very interesting, and I also hope it reinforces the commitment of the Department of Culture, Arts and Leisure, DCAL, to supporting Northern Ireland Screen and the 3 creative learning centres and driving this broader creativity agenda across Northern Ireland. If by doing that, by driving that creativity agenda, we can help tackle the 2 key priorities within the programme for government: building and rebalancing our economy and also tackling disadvantage. We do that through creativity by imagining and implementing new ways of doing things, new collaborations and new approaches. And that's what creativity is about, and that's what Creativity Month is about, showcasing these creative solutions, creative approaches across Northern Ireland. Sarah mentioned about her experience of learning when she was younger. So let me talk a wee bit about mine. So if I could actually bring you on a bit of a journey back to the 70s for a bit. And as we all know, that was a time of great love and peace and joy. I grew up in the Falls Road at the time, so that agenda was a wee bit different back then. But I do have a very strong memory of a shipment of boxes coming to our house one dark night in the late 1970s. And our family, my 2 older brothers, my younger sister, all gathering around the box. And we're opening up the boxes, and out came the Word Book Encyclopedia. Has anyone had the Word Book Encyclopedia? Yeah? Now, that was the late 1970s. I was speaking to my mother last night. It cost about £400 for the complete set. My father was a roofer, and he was earning about £15 a week, and they were paying back by credit. And I think about 20% of their monthly wage was going back to paying back these books. So it was a tremendous investment by my parents in our education. And we milked those resources. I grew up very nerdish nearly every day reading those encyclopedias, and I still have them. They're at home at the moment, and I opened them up last night just to get a flavour of what they were about, and the memories came flooding back. I was able to read the just hot off the press info about President Jimmy Carter. That was really great to see the most up-to-date info on him. Then I switched to the Ireland section, and the first picture in the Ireland section was a chap like this. But he actually had a pint of Guinness saluting the reader. And actually, this is the opening section to Ireland. The local pub is a popular spot where Irish men relax, talk with friends, and drink beer. Most Irish men drink a type of dark beer called stout. That was the overview of our country worldwide. And there was also this picture about how we lived in Ireland. Now, I honestly do think whoever researched that stuck on a VHS or Betamax of The Quiet Man and just basically wrote what he saw. But again, no internet, no mobile technologies. These books got me through countless, scores, hundreds of school projects. And 20 years after we first got them, I was still using them at Queen's. That is me. I had wonderful hair when I was at university. If they were bottling the colour, they would call it autumn sunset. I won't dwell on a tragic loss. But this was pre-internet, or if it wasn't pre-internet, it was before I used it. So it got me through. I did diverse modules. I did some modules on philosophy of religion, political philosophy, and I used the encyclopedias even then. So I was able to get insight into Plato, into Aristotle, and into Socrates. I'm glad some people got that there. That's good. I also looked at the volume C for computers, and there's pictures like this. And the text spoke in flowery, wonderful language. about magnetic tape and how 1 inch of magnetic tape could hold not only the names, the addresses, but also the telephone numbers of up to 15 people. Fantastic. Now, I don't know if he's here, but Matt Johnson from Digital Circle, I'm sure many people know, he uses this wee technique. I'm going to borrow that from him. Hands up who has a computer on them right now. So you have a computer with you right now. That's a good proportion. Hands up who has a mobile phone on them. So you all have computers. That's Matt's point. You can all access probably the internet. You can all go online. You can all emails. And that's the resources that we have now for learning. That's the resources that the young people that we're working with have as well. I flicked through the sections and I saw some terminology, and it said a computer specialist is basically a... Some people maybe could just suggest some different terms, but they were saying a problem solver. He must have, and all the references was he must have imagination so he can visualize difficult situations and find solutions to problems. Now that was the 1970s, but to me that sounds like creativity. And indeed, he also should be creative so he can suggest new ideas and new methods. And again, that's a theme of Creativity Month. We are a small area, but in my experience, we are very, very bad at sharing ideas and telling people what we do. I sit on countless, for my sins in a previous life, I sit on countless cross-departmental groups. And it is amazing how my peers across government don't really realise what is happening on the ground by the tremendous work that you are doing on the ground, the Creative Learning Centres and other organisations. So we have to raise awareness of the possibilities. We have to raise awareness of the impact that is being made. This video gives a better sense, I think, around creativity.
What is creativity? It can mean different things to different people. To some, it involves arts and culture. To others, it's a way of thinking. A different mindset, bringing passion to everything you do, trying something new, pushing boundaries, risking failure, imagining something that didn't exist before, breathing life into old and new ideas. But it's also about making new connections, connecting ideas, people, connecting businesses and organisations, creative connections to tackle problems and meet challenges in health, education, the environment, social inclusion and our economy. Creativity, at the heart of everything you do.
And that website, creativityni.org, you can go on there, you can see more videos, you can actually hopefully upload your videos, showcase what you're doing, increase this awareness of the creative approaches that are happening across Northern Ireland. That's being developed by one of our creative learning centres, the Nerve Centre. Now, what it talks about is connecting people, connecting ideas, connecting organisations. To me, I'm not prescriptive about definitions of creativity, but I like that. Connecting things that were not previously connected. So Creativity Month is about making those creative connections. It's about celebration creativity, and it's about celebrating the creative industries. Throughout this month, this is the first one. I think today is St. David's Day, if I'm not mistaken as well, but today is the start of Creativity Month, and this conference is the flagship launch to Creativity Month. But throughout the month, and you'll find more details on creativityni.org, and please put on your events, you'll see a range of other initiatives. The department is supporting Momentum, the ICT trade body, in developing coder dojos across Northern Ireland, inspiring young people and families to get involved in programming. We're working with the Nerve Centre again, their Fab Lab initiative, mobile outreach for digital fabrication, bringing it to primary schools, bringing it to secondary schools, enabling young people to think about anything and make it. And I see Ian Simons there. Everyone please talk to Ian during the day. He's doing a lot of work with Stirmillis College around Go Berserk, a new coding book to inspire young people to get coding and building websites at a very young age. And this is all about making these creative connections. Because the creative industries are recognised, as Steve Jobs always went on about, as being at this intersection between arts and technology. And the creative industries are recognised as being catalysts for economic innovation and broader social innovation. So we want to see animators working with filmmakers, working with musicians, but we want to see the creative industries working with other sectors as well. I remember with the previous minister, we brought him up to Wrightbus in Ballymena. And I'm sure people at the time said, why are you bringing the culture minister up to a bus company? But at the heart of that company was a design team of University of Ulster arts graduates who were designing the buses, who were coming up with the innovations. The one that struck me was they tried to reduce right angles. Everything's curved so a mop can go across it easier. It's easier to clean. So the creativity, and Mark Notter, the chief executive of Wrightbus, will say that they can't compete on cost with the Far East, but they compete on creativity. They compete on design. So it's this intersection. We need to create in Northern Ireland this ecosystem of collaborations where, certainly as a civil servant, I cannot predict what these outcomes will be. But we must nurture this environment where we increase the probability of good creative connections happening. That's the structure of a protein, an enzyme. Very complex. And the example I want to talk about, it's not a local one, it's based in the United States. But there was a protein that was considered very crucial to the HIV process. But scientists spent nearly a decade and they couldn't work out the exact structure. It's very difficult to work out the exact, so many different combinations. So an initiative in the United States called Fold It solved puzzles for science. They made it into a game. So scientists working with game designers, working with artists, gamification, and they put it online. And the aim of the game, you didn't need any scientific background. You moved the different parts of the protein, the enzyme about. And apparently a protein takes the structure to the least amount of energy. So your goal in the game was build the enzyme with the least amount of energy. Now, scientists, 10 years, and they couldn't work out that structure. The online gaming community solved it in 3 weeks. Now, to me, that just symbolises this intersection. Who could predict? Who would be a civil servant sitting in Bedford Street on my side of it or Invest in I side of it saying, do you know what? We'll get companies doing this. You can't really predict that, but we can create those environments where academics are talking to industry or talking to government and we're making those connections. The STEM agenda, science, technology, engineering, maths, is recognised across the world as crucial to the economy. And you'll see it in every single government document. More STEM, more students studying STEM. But I feel that sometimes there's this false split between creatives and STEMs, that we're working with young people and you're the creative people and they're the scientific, more STEM. So we would certainly advocate a lot of the movement behind pushing the STEM to the STEAM agenda, put the A in there for art, the importance of art and design. And even from an economic perspective, you can turn that into E-STEAM, put E in front for enterprise, the innovation, growing the economy. In terms of STEM, we write in our documents about we need more young people studying STEM subjects. But does any young people, I know no young person who sort of adopts this type of model, whatever their flag of allegiance is, and goes, I will study a STEM subject because it's in the long-term economic interests of my country. I haven't met a young child who has thought or articulated that before. I'll tell you why I studied GCSE physics. Top Gun, 1986. I saw that line, up there with the best of the best. I wanted to be a naval aviator. I wanted to be Tom Cruise. And I went, I better do physics. And that's what got me into that. And I'm not suggesting the Creative Learning Centres distribute DVDs of Top Gun. But it emphasises the point of inspiration, the hook of creative learning. Now, DCAL supports a diverse range of organisations and a creative landscape, from Northern Ireland Screen, obviously, to museums, to libraries, to public records, W5, sport, planetariums, observatories, languages. Have I forgotten anyone? Waterways and inland fisheries. Inland fisheries is always the one people go. But what that represents is this creative and innovative landscape that can introduce and promote STEM and learning in new, innovative ways. I always remember Saul Nassay, who's the director of learning at the BBC. He showed a video of all these eminent scientists talking about the moment in their childhood when they knew then, I want to be a scientist. And they all traced it back, maybe surprisingly enough, to a BBC moment, Tomorrow's World or Doctor Who. But it emphasises the importance of inspiring young people to sort of look at STEM, to involve in STEM, to get involved in STEAM, to get involved in creativity. Now, if they were to make the Dead Poets Society film again, I'm sure maybe Robin Williams would get up on the table. What's the line? Is it, "Oh, Captain, my Captain"? I think he might do that. But he'd probably have an iPad in his hand this time as well. And he'll probably be enrolled in a creative learning program as well. As Bernard outlined, this is about inspiring young people, engaging young people, but it's also about putting a strategic framework in place across the region that's making meaningful impact in schools, that is providing sustainable impact in schools as well. So on that note, the Creative Learning Centres, supported by the department, are very pleased to announce a new Creative Classrooms teacher pack and student pack. And these will be distributed to everyone at the end of the day. But they look at things like digital mean business, how jobs are changing, what skills are important for business, what does business need, what is creativity, what are creative skills. They're asking young people the question, are you creative? Can you learn to be creative? And exploring the creative industries. As Bernard said, yes, we want more young people to move into the creative industries, into film, into television, into post-production, into music, etc. But we want these creative skills across the curriculum. We need creative thinkers in all sections of society, business, in academia, and my goodness, we need it in government as well. And the end, or sort of the end goal of the creative learning packs is for young people to find their motivation, get that hook from a young age. And the structure provided by the Creative Learning Centres provides that sustainable momentum behind that. Now there's a line in that pack you'll see. It's about the pack aims to help young people dream big, to create, to invent, and to change things. I love that. To me, that's creativity. And I think that by working together, by maximising the impact and reach of the Creative Learning Centres, by collaborating with everyone and every organisation in this room, then we can inspire young people to see what is possible. We can inspire them to believe in what is possible. And together as a society in Northern Ireland, then we can move from what is now to what can be. Thank you very much.
Hello there. Northern Ireland has always been deservedly proud of its education system, but the world's changing. What do our young people need from education? In my school days, research in a school project meant a trip to the school library, the local library, trawling through endless books and newspapers to find any snippet of information. Today, all I've got to do is take my mobile phone out of my pocket, go online and search. We're now all part of this digital world, which has made a huge change in our lifestyle and our habits, and most importantly, education. There are very few jobs today in which the use of digital technology does not play an integral part. When I'm in the studio, even traditional roles like operating cameras or lights or sound, they're now all run digitally. We now also have teams looking after our online content, texts, user-generated content, and social media. Digital media is transforming the workplace, and we all need to learn and update our skills to keep up. There's a difference between how I use technology and how young people use technology. They own the digital world. They are part of it. They feed its development. For our young people to compete in the future, we need them to be masters of this technology and be creative and innovative, whether they decide to become doctors, farmers, builders, engineers, teachers, or to work in the rapidly expanding creative industry sector. This is why the work of Northern Ireland's Creative Learning Centres is so crucial. The resource has been created to help schools and our young people right across Northern Ireland make the transition from the world I came from to the world they're going to.